Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie back at you today with another product review. And what I'm looking at here is the Black Velvet Blended Canadian Whiskey. This is actually a 750 ml bottle. Unfortunately, they have uh, started putting this in the plastic bottles, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's a 750 ml bottle. It was $9.99 for the 750 ml, so a good value. Now, we did an examination of this whiskey on Ronald Terrio's channel of Louisiana Beer Reviews, so go check that out. Myself, him, and the Whiskey Scout, Robert, we examined this whiskey, and I thought that went really well. And of course, Ronald Terrio also does some taste challenges with this product, so check out his channel of Louisiana Beer Reviews and check out the Whiskey Scout. But anyway, I wanted to do a solo review of this just while I had the whiskey, because it probably won't last too long. Sip on it a little every day, and it'll probably be gone in 2 or 3 weeks. Now it is 80 proof. It's distilled in Canada, but it's bottled in the United States. It was introduced in 1951 and it is a Constellation brand. I've had it many times. I've always thought it was a really good value. Um, but let's see what we've got here. So I gave it a pour. It's actually a very nice, what would I call that? A deep golden color. It's a very, very nice looking whiskey in the glass. It's got some nice alcohol legs going down there as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little bit of a glare, but there are some really significant alcohol legs going down the glass. Um, okay, so on the aroma, I'm getting some caramel, some light vanilla notes. I'm getting some wood quality. I guess you could say some oak characteristics, but this is not like a bourbon whiskey. It's not a charred oak presence. It's just a woody presence on the aroma. It smells really good, guys. Very clean smelling. You are picking up a little bit that alcohol distillate. I mean, it does. You do smell the alcohol a little bit. Smells really good. Very clean. I find with some budget brand whiskeys like Canadian Limited, Canadian Hunter, for example, they have this artificial. Um, well, it's not really artificial, but they have like an almond extract aroma and flavor profile. And I thought maybe, that was a desirable quality at first. I kind of liked it, but as I've been getting back to some of my roots with these Canadian whiskeys, like the Canadian Club, the Black Velvet, the VO, the Seagram's VO, the ones that don't have that almond extract quality, I've decided that I don't necessarily like that um, as a stand, sipping on it as a pure whiskey, just because I think that those qualities are added or in those cheaper whiskeys to make them better as mixers. But as a standalone, drinking something neat that has that really strong almond extract quality, I don't particularly care for it. This one does not have that. It smells really good. You're getting the caramel, you're getting the vanilla, you're getting the wood, you're getting a little bit of the alcohol distillate, but that's not, it's 40% alcohol, so you can expect a little bit. Smells really good, so cheers, guys. You're getting the caramel, little vanilla, a lot of oak, a lot of wood in here, but it's, like I said before, not a charred oak presence. Um, it drops off very nicely on the back end. As that first sip, the almond extract quality is there, but it's so minute compared to the other ones that I mentioned. Um, you could probably expect a little bit of that in all blended Canadian whiskeys, but with this one, it's very subtle, it's very muted, it's in the background, which I like because it lets the whiskey, the real qualities shine through. The qualities that I like in a whiskey, which are the caramel, the toffee, the vanilla, the wood. It helps the finish. It drops off better on the finish because you're not left with that thick almond extract taste that sticks to the inside of your cheeks. Um, it's very smooth. It's 40% alcohol for an 80 proof product. This is as smooth as it gets. I've heard a lot of people talk about this product, say that it's dull. It doesn't really have a lot going for it. You know, it's hard to necessarily disagree with that statement because it's not supposed to be this, you know, 20-year reserve Pappy Van Winkle. I mean, it's not going to have the complexity that something like that has. I mean, it's a 3-year aged product. Uh, it's done well. It's great on its own. It's great as a mixer. Um, it has a lot less artificial type tasting notes, I find, with these cheap Canadian blended whiskeys. It even has a little bit of a butterscotch thing developing as I swirl it around. I'm going to take another sip, see if the butterscotch follows through on the palate. Yeah, a little butterscotch in there as well. There is a little bit of that almond extract the more I sip on it, but it's very muted compared to some of the other cheap Canadian whiskeys that I've had. I really like it. I think it's really well done. Um, it's been around for a while, in 1951. I think they know what they're doing with this product. I have no complaints with it. Is it the most complex, sophisticated thing in the world? Absolutely not. But if you're looking at the budget brands, if you put this on the same playing field as the Seagram's VO, the Canadian Limited, Canadian Hunter, um, there have been several other cheap Canadian whiskeys that I've had uh, that this would kind of compete with. I mean, this one is up there for me. It's a great value. It's a great quality product. It would be great as a mixer because it doesn't have anything too bold or anything that's gonna compete to dominate the flavor profile of anything that you would mix it with in a cocktail. Um, I think it's great as a standalone as well, just because it has just enough for me to sip on it, enjoy it. It is super smooth. It finishes really nicely. It drops off very dry on the finish. It's inviting in that sense. It makes you want to go back in for another sip. It's got nice aromas. It's got a nice tasting profile. So it's a winner for me. I mean, everything, color, um, the alcohol legs, the aroma, the palate, and the finish. It's all good. I don't feel comfortable giving numerical ratings to whiskeys like I do for beer just because I don't feel like I have enough experience in this realm. However, I will say I will give a letter grade, and I'm going to say it's a B plus. It's getting close to an A. It's definitely great for a budget whiskey, and it competes with all of the other budget brands in my opinion. It probably is a little bit better. It's definitely better than any of the other Canadian whiskeys that I've done reviews on this channel for, um, except the Canadian Club Classic 12. That's a 12-year aged Canadian whiskey. So what do you expect? It's going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit more complex. But for a cheap $9.99 for a 750 ml bottle of 3-year aged blended Canadian whiskey, what do it's not going to get much better than this. So a B to B plus, great product. I would highly recommend going out there and buying Black Velvet. You should be able to find it. It's a very popular brand now, especially since Constellation Brands, is responsible for this brand now. The distribution should be relatively high. I've never had any issue getting it. I would definitely recommend it. If you like Canadian whiskey, go for this one, especially if you're on a budget. I don't think you can go wrong with it. It doesn't have any off flavors. It's not super complex, but it has just enough there to make it enjoyable on a standalone, as a standalone. Either neat like this or on the rocks would be excellent. And of course, it would be great as a mixer. So you really can't go wrong with this product. So B plus, guys. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'm so happy that football is back. Been enjoying watching some football games today, and that will continue, obviously, um, now that the season is upon us, both college and NFL. But anyway, guys, that'll do it for this whiskey review. I hope you're having a great weekend, and until next time, everybody, cheers.